Okay, so let's take a look at example 1. So these are additional examples that are not in your book, okay, or your companion. All right, so example 1, it says given K is between H and J. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a segment that has H and J, and I'm going to wonder why my computer's freaking out. That's better. Okay. Sorry about that. And somewhere in the middle, I am going to put K. They're not telling us what K is. They just said it lands in between. Okay. Now for the next part, it says if KJ is 10x or is x plus 10, that means JK right here, I'm just going to put that in, is x plus 10. So we know that length, or at least whatever that length is supposed to be. They're also telling us that HK is x plus 6, so that's going right here. And then we're doing HJ, so this entire segment is 4x minus 6. Questions on where that is coming from before we move on to the next part? Good. All right, so looking at this, I need to solve for x. What am I going to apply here in order to solve for x? Who could tell me? Who's got an idea? Who's got an idea? How can I set this up? Yeah.
Well, you add H and K and J, and then that equals 4x minus 6.
Perfect. So we're going to apply the segment addition postulate, and we're going to add this part plus this part equals this part. So this is going to be x plus 6 plus x plus 10 equals 4x minus 6. I want you guys to tell me, what does x end up equaling here? So take a minute and solve. All right, so Alex, what did we get?
I got for the HJ.
I'm just looking for x.
Oh, X. I got 11.
Perfect. All right, so x is equal to 11. Any questions on the algebra behind that? Okay. All right, now what are we going to do with this 11 in order to solve for what we need? First off, before we do, what do we need? If K is a midpoint, what is that telling us? What is that telling us about the two segments surrounding K? They have to be what? Say it loud and proud. Equal. They have to be congruent, right? So this and this have to be equal in order for this to work. All right. So in this case, I'm going to just substitute in for HK. That's going to be 11 plus 6, which gives me 17. And then for KJ, I'm going to have 11 plus 10, which is 21. So the question is, are these equal? No. So is K a midpoint? No, it is not. So K is not a midpoint. Questions on this? Anything I can address before we move on to example 2? Ready to move along? Okay. All right. Example 2, they're telling me if M is the midpoint of AC. So again, I'm going to draw this out. So here's A, here's C, and they're telling me M is the midpoint. So that means this has to be congruent with that. AM is 2x squared minus 6x. So here's 2x squared minus 6x. The next part I'm getting is that CM is negative x plus 12. Excuse me. So what do I do here in order to solve for x? Who can tell me? They're saying it's a midpoint. We know AM is congruent to MC. Go ahead.
2x squared minus 6x equals negative x plus 12.
Excellent. So we're going to have here 2x squared minus 6x equals negative x plus 12. So in order to continue, I'm going to have to add the x to both sides, and I'm going to have to subtract 12 because I need this side equal to 0. So this will be 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals 0. What do we have to do from here? What do you think? Begins with an F. We don't necessarily like the word. Yes. Got to factor. Use your factoring technique, and I want you guys to tell me what are the two solutions of x. We're just about finishing up. Who's got one of the solutions for x for me? Good. One of them is 4. Excellent. What's the second one? If you got a fraction, it's okay. I promise. Yeah. Oh, I don't like 1.5, but yes, it is close. What's the fraction 4 and 1.5? 3 halves. Is it just 3 halves though? Yeah. It's negative 3 halves. Yeah, get comfy with fractions, guys. They're going to be everywhere. Okay. All right, so we got this. Now, what do I do with these in order to solve? First off, is it okay to have a negative value here? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Ooh. No, why?
Because it's the measure of distance.
Is it the measure of a distance though?
Well, because when you're because the 2x squared minus 6x is measuring the distance between 2 points on the line.
Okay. You're bringing up a really good point here. He is 100% right that distance cannot be negative. It can't. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. But this is not a distance. This is something we're substituting in to find the distance. So you have to check it out. Does that make sense? Okay. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to take 4 Substitute it in, make sure it works, and then substitute in the -3/2. Again, substitute it in, make sure it works. It should. Okay? If at any time it's negative, then it's a no-go.
How did we get the X's?
The X's we factored.
Oh.
That one's on you guys, because there's too many ways to factor. Need help with that? Make an appointment with me, or we're going to have to head to MTV. That should be starting up here pretty soon. So after we substitute these in, if you're using x is equal to 4, you get AM is equal to MC, which is equal to what? Who can tell me? Calculators are fine. Very helpful tools. You substitute them in. What'd you get? Did you have your hand up? Oh, I thought you did. Sorry. Guys, yeah, use your calculators, please. Take them out. So what is it when we substitute in 4? You okay? Yeah, we got something going on. Hold on. Okay, there you go. So what's it going to be? Go ahead.
8.
It's 8. Okay, so they're both equal to 8. There we go. All right, now check out when x is -3/2 or -1.5, whichever you're going to put in your calculator. You have AM is still equal to MC, which is still equal to what? What do we get? It's okay if it's a decimal or a fraction or whatever. What do we get? Should be pretty easy, especially if you just use this guy, right? What's it going to be? Negative, negative becomes positive. 1.5 plus 12, so it's going to be... Come on. I know someone has it. Go ahead.
For -x plus 12 is 13.5. For the other one is 4.5.
It is not 4.5 for the other one. I'll show you why in a minute. But it is 13.5. Here. Let me show you guys the appropriate way to use your calculator. Okay, so if you substitute it in for the green, okay, I'm just going to kind of push this over here a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to type in 2 parentheses -3 divided by 2. Close my parentheses. I'm going to square it. I'm going to subtract 6 parentheses -3 over 2. Oops. Close parentheses. So what if you did not include the negative in here, it would have been problematic with the square. Because the square needs to have parentheses around it in order to take it twice. Okay, if it's outside, It'll only focus on this, or if you typed it in as something like this, like 3/2 and then squared it, it's only going to square the bottom. Okay? So you have to be very careful with how you put it in your calculator. Does that make sense?
Well, I just accidentally put negative 2x squared for some reason when I was doing it. I don't know.
Oh, that I
So
can't
just
help.
made
Yeah.
it.
Those little things, I can't help with that, but I can help with any other error. Okay? All right, so we're good. Any questions on that? All right, let's move on to our next example. Come on now. All right, example 3. I'm gonna just erase this real quick so it's out of the way. All right, example 3 states that I'm missing my pen now. There it is. All right. If ray EF is an angle bisector of angle DEG and the measure of DEF is equal to 43, what is the measure of FEG? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw this angle. So I have this entire angle that we call DEG. They're telling me we have ray E going to F, which is bisecting the angle. All right. So it's making those two angles congruent. They're also telling me that DEF is 43 degrees. So if DEF is 43 degrees, what is FEG? So they're asking about this guy right there. What's it going to be? Go ahead.
43 degrees.
43 degrees. That's it. Draw. I know this was a very simple example, but sometimes they are that easy. You just need to draw the picture. Okay? Any questions on this so far? Anything on 1 or 2 that I can explain? Let's move on to 3 then. Everybody's still copying this down. All right. They're telling me if angle HIJ and angle KLM are complementary. What does that mean? Complementary. What does complementary mean? How many degrees are the angles going to be in total? Good. Close. Try the other one. 360 close. 90. Okay, so we're gonna have a 90. We're gonna have a 90-degree angle here. If we were talking supplementary, it would be 180. Okay. So in this case, they're telling me that this plus this. Oh, good Lord. Come on, computer. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Is going to equal that. All right. So if I have HIJ is 6x minus 8, KLM is 2x plus 10, we're going to set that equal to 90 degrees. So this is going to be 6x minus 8 plus 2x plus 10 equals 90. I want someone to tell me, what does x end up equaling here? You got it? What is it? It's 11. Nice job. Any questions on that? Or how to solve? Okay. All right, now that we have that, they want us to solve for the measure of HIJ, which is this. So the measure of angle HIJ is going to equal 6 times 11 minus 8. So what is the solution here? 58 degrees. Nice job. questions that I can address before we move on to example 5? I do need your attention for example 5. Not that you guys haven't been paying attention, you're doing great. Just want to make sure we're good. Hi. Grab a sheet. All right. Ready to move on? All right, next one, visualization time. All right, so this says, oh my gosh. In this diagram, ray EA is perpendicular to ED. So that's kind of nice. I know that's a right angle. So I'm going to mark that up. EB bisects AEC. So here's AEC. So that means this angle and this angle are congruent because that's a EB is that bisector. Now they're stating, given that the measure of AEB is 3x minus 5 and CED is 4x, determine the missing measures. So the first thing they want us to do is find x. What am I missing here to find x? Who can tell me? Who sees it? If I know that this whole thing is equal to 90 degrees, go ahead.
AEF would be 90 degrees, and then the BEC would be 3x minus 5.
Perfect. All right, so this is also, I'm just going to mark that right now since he mentioned it. This is 90 degrees, and this is also 3x minus 5, because if this EB is bisecting AEC, these two are congruent, right? So it means the same thing. So the easiest way to solve for this is to set this up and set it equal to 90. So this is going to be 3x minus 5 plus 3x minus 5 plus 4x equals 90. I want you guys to solve for x right now. All right, who has x? Yep. 10, excellent job. So we have that first part. All right, now they want us to find BEC. So here's BEC. We're going to substitute that in. Let's grab a different color. All right, so this is going to be 3 times 10 minus 5, which leaves us with 25 degrees. So that's easy. All right, ready for the visualization part? All right. So this one says the measure of FEB. So here's FEB. So we're talking about this angle right here. We are not including the other two parts. They want us to find this measure. So we're incorporating all of this. All right. We know this part, FEA, is how many degrees? 90. And then AEB is how many degrees? Whoops. Go ahead. 25. Giving us a total of 115 degrees. Questions on this? That's it. So homework is on Delta Math tonight. I would highly recommend you finish the warm-up first because we're going to go over that tomorrow. Okay? And those of you watching at home, have a great day.